Meghan Markle does not represent black people in the United States. I don't know if you knew that.
No question she doesn't.
We hear behind the scenes that she's a bully who fires everybody, only worried about herself. But when she gets on camera, she actually is a decent actress in being like, I'm just this super relatable person with her own flower sprinkles and, candle line. And I just sit around being like a working mom. I'm just like all the other working moms.
Right.
That's me.
Sorry, I'm very familiar. She doesn't represent anybody.
Of course
other
not.
than a very elite, hypocritical group of people.
So what do you make of her claim that she has no idea who you are?
It's been just a series of lies, and I can't believe we're essentially looking at $100 million fake news PR machine. It's projection at its finest, and it's almost comic.
A new wave of media chatter is building around Meghan Markle, and this time the spark didn't come from a tabloid headline. Instead, it started during a television segment when commentator Tucker Carlson questioned whether Meghan truly represents Black Americans, or in his view, whether she represents anyone at all. That single remark instantly set off a chain reaction across the media landscape, with commentators, journalists, and online personalities jumping into the conversation. Carlson didn't stop with just that one statement either. He went a step further and invited Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister, onto his program to share her perspective on the ongoing public narrative surrounding Meghan. That upcoming interview quickly became a major talking point because Samantha has often claimed she has a very different view of Meghan's personal story than what audiences usually hear.
They want all the privileges. They want all of the honors. They want all the plaudits, but they don't want to do anything. A woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her. What's the title of her show? Love Meghan. For what? To watch? Who wants to watch Meghan Markle bake a pie? All the little clips of her seem to attempt to show some reticence or some kind of meekness. They want her to appear demure and modest.
We'll get into that interview shortly, because some of the claims she raised added even more fuel to the already heated discussion. But before Samantha's appearance even aired, Carlson's comments seemed to open the door for other high-profile media voices to share their own takes. Suddenly, the topic was popping up across talk shows, podcasts, and news segments. The conversation wasn't just about Meghan's royal history anymore. It was about the image she presents to the public and whether that image feels authentic to everyone watching. One of the most direct responses came from broadcaster Megyn Kelly, who offered a sharp critique of Meghan's public persona. Kelly argued that the widely promoted image of Meghan as a relatable working mother might not fully match some of the stories critics claim happened behind the scenes. Now, it's important to note that commentary like this often blends opinion with media reports and speculation. Still, Kelly suggested that the gap between public branding and private reputation has become a growing topic of debate in media.
There are some moments that are supposed to be between a husband and a wife only. And the moments before you give birth to your child is one of them. When you are together in that room and your child is coming. She's reportedly bullied virtually everybody who's ever worked for her. She can't keep a staff in London. She can't keep a staff in Montecito. She's a bully. She's obsessed with her own ego, face on television, etc., and playing the victim. So no amount of humanizing videos, even if she managed to find one, are going to work.
Circles. Kelly also pointed to an example involving previously recorded footage that later appeared in a documentary project. From her perspective, the fact that personal footage could be held onto for years and then released at a carefully chosen moment looked less like a spontaneous memory and more like a calculated media strategy. In her words, it raised questions about whether certain personal moments are being saved and deployed when they might have the biggest emotional impact on viewers. Supporters of Meghan see things very differently, of course. Many argue that documenting personal moments and using them in documentaries is something countless public figures do. Still, critics say the timing of some releases makes them wonder how much of the narrative is organic and how much might be carefully planned.
The act of making a TV show about herself is not modest. She's not reluctant to speak. She really wants attention.
I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her. And it's so hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Give us like one strip of authenticity. She wants us to believe that she went from being a D-list actress from a show that nobody that I know watched, Suits, okay, who took her clothes off, was not even a main role, okay, was doing sex scenes, to becoming Martha Stewart in 3 years. Like, this is totally authentic.
And that's where the tension really builds, when audiences start questioning the difference between a public image and what critics say happens privately. Trust can begin to erode. Suddenly, every interview, every photo, and even every social media post gets analyzed in a completely different light. That growing debate is exactly what exploded after Carlson's remarks, and once Samantha Markle stepped forward to tell her side of the story, the conversation only became louder. As the debate around Meghan Markle kept growing, some commentators began focusing on something they say feels unusual about her public appearances. According to several critics, many of her interviews come across as extremely polished, almost too polished. They argue that every response sounds carefully prepared and every emotional moment feels highly controlled. In their view, the more effort that goes into shaping the image, the more some viewers begin to question it.
She needs us to love her. So she will do whatever it takes, and she doesn't know how to make us love.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake. She was a real hard-nosed LA girl, right? Who was on the fast track. Yeah. Now she's like this, oh, I'm soft, I'm mummy, I'm this. It's all bullshit.
One voice that has been particularly outspoken about this is broadcaster Megyn Kelly, who suggested that the gap between Meghan's public presentation and how critics describe her privately is becoming harder for some audiences to ignore. Kelly's argument wasn't simply about one interview or one documentary. Instead, she claimed there appears to be a long-running pattern where the public image feels tightly managed, almost like every detail has been mapped out ahead of time. But Kelly wasn't the only media figure weighing in. Piers Morgan, who says he knew Meghan briefly before her relationship with Prince Harry became global news, has also shared his perspective many times. Morgan often reminds audiences that he met Meghan during the early stage of her career, long before the royal spotlight surrounded her life. Because of that earlier connection, he argues that the version of Meghan the public sees today seems very different from the person he remembers. According to Morgan, the change didn't appear to happen slowly over time. In his view, it felt more like a sudden shift once Meghan entered the world of royalty and international fame. He has described the transformation as dramatic, almost like someone stepping into a completely new role. Of course, others argue that major life changes, especially something as intense as joining the royal family, could naturally reshape how someone presents themselves to the world. Still, critics continue to compare Meghan's ventures with other celebrity success stories. Over the years, many high-profile figures have launched major brands or business platforms tied to their personal passions. Rihanna, for example, built an enormous beauty brand that reshaped the cosmetics industry. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson expanded into multiple successful business ventures, while Ryan Reynolds helped turn a beverage company into a massive sale that made headlines across the business world. Commentators often point to examples like these to illustrate what they believe makes a celebrity project succeed. They argue that the most successful ventures usually connect to something authentic, whether it's a clear philosophy, a strong business vision, or years of experience in that field.
Didn't she sign a huge deal with Netflix and all of these, but they all keep flopping. The reason they keep flopping is because she doesn't have anything to say. If you want to be a public figure who is a thought leader, who you need to have like at least something to say. She wants the tiara, she doesn't want the public service. So she runs into becoming a princess, but then when she realizes that you actually have to do things when you're a princess, it's not all just Disneyland, people waiting on you hand and foot and adulating you when you actually have to like do things, then she says, I don't want to be a princess anymore.
In Meghan's case, critics say the challenge has been defining exactly what that long-term vision looks like. Some believe she aimed to combine the elegance of royal life with a modern lifestyle brand. Others argue she hoped to enjoy the admiration associated with royalty while still maintaining full personal independence. Supporters, however, see the story differently. They believe Meghan simply wanted the freedom to build projects outside traditional royal expectations. But critics say that tension between royal tradition and personal ambition is exactly what created so much controversy once the reality of royal life began to clash with those expectations. As the discussion around Meghan Markle kept spreading across media panels and commentary shows, one theme kept popping up again and again. Critics say the biggest issue isn't just the interviews or documentaries, it's what they see as a growing contradiction between Meghan's public role and the lifestyle she currently lives. Some commentators argue that Meghan and Prince Harry have stepped away from official royal duties while still remaining closely tied to the attention that comes with those titles. According to critics, that balancing act has raised questions. They point out that the couple now lives in a luxurious home in Montecito, California, while also producing large media projects with companies like Netflix. From their perspective, it creates a confusing message, stepping away from the traditional royal structure while still benefiting from the visibility that the royal connection brings. Supporters, of course, argue the couple simply chose independence and the freedom to pursue their own creative projects. But the conversation took another turn when Samantha Markle appeared on Tucker Carlson's program and hinted that there were still many details about Meghan's past that the public hadn't heard yet. Her appearance quickly drew attention online because Samantha has long claimed she has a different understanding of Meghan's personal story.
So what do you make of her claim that she has no idea who you are?
You know, it's been just a series of lies, and I can't believe we were essentially looking at $100 million fake news PR machine. It's projection at its finest, and it's almost comic.
To be a real princess is to focus your life on the service of others, is to be elegant and to comport yourself with dignity and to restrain your individual desires and to be a public figure serving the public without any particular care for.
We'll break down the most talked about moments from that interview shortly because several of her comments stirred up even more debate. Before that interview even aired, though, commentators were already picking apart the branding of Meghan's latest projects. One example that sparked conversation was the title of her upcoming lifestyle series, Love, Megyn. Some critics joked that the name itself sounded almost too confident, as if it suggested universal admiration before audiences had even seen the full show. The promotional material for the project also drew attention. Trailers and preview clips appeared designed to present Megyn as someone reluctantly pulled back into the spotlight. In several scenes, the tone suggests she prefers privacy but still finds herself surrounded by cameras documenting everyday life inside her home. Critics quickly pointed out what they saw as an obvious contradiction, claiming to want privacy while also filming large-scale docuseries about personal life. Supporters pushed back strongly on that argument, saying that documentaries about personal experiences are extremely common for public figures. Still, critics say the mixed messaging makes it difficult for audiences to understand exactly what role Megyn wants to play in the public eye. Commentator Candace Owens added another layer to the discussion by suggesting that what frustrates some viewers is the feeling that everything appears highly scripted. According to that viewpoint, people searching for something genuine sometimes feel like every interview, every appearance, and every emotional moment is carefully staged. Some critics also point to the timeline of Meghan's career transformation. Only a few years before entering the royal spotlight, she was primarily known as an actress on a television series. Suddenly transitioning into a lifestyle authority and global public figure is a massive leap, especially when you consider that figures like Oprah Winfrey spent decades building the influence they have today. As the conversation around Meghan Markle kept growing, some commentators began comparing her situation to other well-known lifestyle figures. Critics often point out that people like Martha Stewart spent many years building expertise before becoming household names. Stewart developed recipes, home projects, and entire collections long before her brand reached global recognition. Because of that long journey, supporters of traditional lifestyle brands often say credibility usually takes time to build. That comparison is something critics bring up when discussing Meghan's newer projects. From their perspective, launching a lifestyle platform requires more than public attention. It usually involves years of experience in areas like cooking, home design, or wellness philosophy. Supporters of Megyn, however, argue that modern media allows public figures to explore new creative spaces much faster than in the past. But the discussion goes far beyond lifestyle branding. Many commentators say the deeper issue revolves around what Megyn expected when she joined the British royal family. According to critics, royal life has traditionally been built on a very specific set of principles: duty, service, and representing the institution before personal ambitions.
Be a pretend princess, to be an actress, is to totally indulge your selfish desires and do whatever you want and be glamorous and live for the tabloids and beg for people's attention.
Well, she does seem to have left quite a trail of destruction in her wake, but she also has, as you pointed out in your first sentence, on her side, telling her story in soft focus. What's it like to be up against that?
We didn't know how we were going to deal with it until, like they say, water seeks its own level. Eventually the truth comes out, and when it does, and when the dust settles, I thought, truth has to stand for something. Truth wins. So here we are.
That's the framework that defined the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, whose long reign was widely associated with discipline and dedication to public service. Even figures who faced enormous personal challenges, like Princess Diana, were often remembered for their commitment to humanitarian causes. Despite the intense pressures that came with royal life, Diana became known for her charity work and global outreach efforts. Critics frequently mention examples like these to explain what they believe royal expectations have historically looked like. From that perspective, some commentators argue that Meghan may have entered the royal world with a different vision in mind. They suggest she might have been drawn to the more glamorous aspects, the international attention, the high-profile events, and the global spotlight that surrounds royal figures. Critics say the difficulty came when the reality of royal life involved far more structure, protocol, and service work than many outsiders realize. Of course, supporters strongly reject the idea that Meghan misunderstood royal life. They argue that the intense scrutiny from media and the public made it extremely difficult for her to navigate that environment in the first place. Still, critics say the contrast between expectations and reality may have played a role in the couple's decision to step away from official duties. The discussion intensified even further when Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister, appeared on Tucker Carlson's program. Samantha spoke openly about her experiences with Meghan and suggested that the public might not fully understand the larger picture behind the scenes. Her appearance quickly drew attention because she has repeatedly claimed that her perspective comes from knowing Meghan personally rather than relying on media reports. During the interview, Samantha hinted that Meghan and Prince Harry have assembled a large media and communications team focused on shaping their public narrative. According to Samantha, the couple's media strategy appears highly organized, something she believes shows just how seriously they approach managing their public image.
And it seems to me that they, got into their position. They had a lot of fun. They loved the accolades and the perks. But when it came time to being accountable and being responsible and following rules, that seems to be when everything fell apart.
Do you have any advice for her in-laws? She's married into this big and storied family and seems to have disrupted it pretty profoundly. What would you counsel them?
As the conversation continued, Samantha Markle's comments during her appearance with Tucker Carlson added another layer that many viewers found hard to ignore. Samantha suggested that she has personally witnessed how some of these family tensions developed over the years. From her perspective, the situation isn't just about headlines or media narratives. It's about patterns she believes she has observed up close. One point Samantha emphasized was how public perception often shifts depending on how a story is presented. According to her, Meghan frequently appears as the person who has been treated unfairly whenever a controversy arises. Samantha questioned that portrayal and suggested the reality might be far more complicated than what audiences usually hear. Of course, these claims reflect Samantha's personal viewpoint, and supporters of Meghan Markle strongly dispute many of the accusations she has made over the years. Still, Samantha argued that narratives can only be shaped for so long before people begin looking more closely at the bigger picture. When different commentators, journalists, and insiders start comparing timelines and experiences, she believes certain inconsistencies begin to stand out. In her view, that's when public trust can start to weaken. Some media voices have also suggested that the ongoing effort to shape public perception may involve extensive communication teams and public relations strategies. Critics claim that despite significant effort being invested into managing the couple's image, skepticism among certain audiences has continued to grow. These commentators argue that when viewers remain unconvinced even after major media campaigns, the issue may not simply be messaging, it may be credibility. Another argument frequently raised by critics centers on the couple's relationship with the British royal institution. According to those commentators, stepping away from official royal duties while still maintaining royal titles has created confusion for some observers.
I think he needs to act, certainly swiftly and severely and lay down the boundaries because they seem to not like boundaries. And I think it sets a dangerous precedent to let this go on.
I think that's wise advice, really, for any.
To just do what I've said for a few years now. Just take the titles away. Let them get on with being Meghan and Harry celebrities. You can be judged accordingly. You can do what you like. It's the problem is doing it under the umbrella of being the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, him remaining in line to the...
From their perspective, institutions, especially centuries-old ones like the monarchy, typically operate on clear expectations and responsibilities. Supporters of Meghan and Prince Harry, however, see the situation very differently. They argue that the couple simply chose independence and the freedom to build careers outside traditional royal restrictions. For them, the move was about creating a new path rather than rejecting royal values. During her interview, Samantha offered what she described as advice for the royal family moving forward. She suggested that clearer boundaries might have helped avoid much of the public tension. In her view, when rules or expectations are left unclear, misunderstandings can grow larger over time. Samantha ultimately argued that the monarchy must prioritize protecting its long-standing reputation and traditions. According to her perspective, if individuals choose to build careers as entertainment figures or media personalities, that path should remain separate from the formal responsibilities connected to royal titles. And that idea, separating celebrity life from royal identity, is exactly the solution many commentators say the royal family may eventually have to confront. As the debate continues, one argument keeps coming up among commentators who follow royal affairs closely. Some critics believe it's difficult to maintain a strong connection to royal titles while also building an independent celebrity-style career. In their view, those two paths can sometimes clash, especially when public criticism of the institution enters the conversation. From that perspective, certain analysts say the situation may eventually force a clear decision. Either remain connected to the traditional structure of the monarchy, with all the responsibilities that come with it, or fully step into the world of private media ventures and entertainment. Trying to balance both at the same time, critics argue, has created confusion for audiences watching from the outside. One topic that keeps resurfacing in media discussions is the future of Meghan Markle's brand. Over the past few years, Meghan and Prince Harry have explored a variety of projects, from documentaries to podcasts and other creative ventures. Supporters say these projects represent the couple building a new life outside royal expectations, but critics question whether those ventures have managed to reshape public perception in the way they hoped. Recently, attention has shifted toward Meghan's new lifestyle content, which includes cooking and home-focused projects. Some commentators see this as an attempt to reposition her public image towards something more personal and relatable. Others remain skeptical, suggesting that audiences may still associate her primarily with royal drama rather than lifestyle inspiration. Of course, predicting the future of any public figure's brand is extremely difficult. Many celebrities have faced periods of intense criticism, only to reinvent themselves later with new projects and fresh audiences. Public opinion can shift quickly in the media world, especially when someone finds the right message or creative direction that resonates with viewers. Still, critics continue asking a simple question: if the royal connection faded completely tomorrow, what would Meghan's public identity look like moving forward? Would it focus entirely on lifestyle media, entertainment projects, and personal storytelling? Or would it evolve into something completely different that hasn't appeared yet? Those questions are exactly why this story continues to attract so much attention. The intersection of celebrity culture, royal tradition, and modern media has created a situation unlike anything we've seen before. Every new interview, project, or public appearance seems to add another chapter to a story that's still unfolding in real time. But now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about everything happening around Meghan Markle and the royal family right now? Do you think the situation will eventually settle down, or will the debate keep growing even louder? If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like the video, share it with someone who follows royal stories, and subscribe for more deep dives into celebrity drama and media moments. And before you go, check out the next video appearing on your screen right now. It dives even deeper into another headline-making celebrity situation you definitely won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.